Shelby GT350 car in VR. Hello there everyone and welcome to OpenFed Gaming. You're listening to the OpenFed. Today we are driving the Ford Mustang Shelby GT350 in a historic sports car masters race. We're driving it at the Willow Springs International Raceway, called the Big Willow. We're doing 5 laps. We started 16th of 16 cars, and we started with a rolling start. Now these laps are fairly long, fairly decent. However, this track is not one of my favorites. It's real easy to drive off the side of the track, so you really have to pay attention. If you oversteer and you slide off the side of the track, it takes you a while to get back on, if you can get back on in time before the game resets you. And if it does that, you're losing too much time. And then in a situation like that, you're done for the race. Now another real problem in this race is situations like this. These cars, they block you out and they slow you down. Now they don't block you out on purpose, they're just racing the race. But to get around them, you have to wait at times, which is a real problem, because when you wait for the slower cars to get out of your way so you can get by them, the faster cars are getting further ahead. So you're not really gaining anything by waiting too long. You got to try and get by them as quickly as you can. So when you get to the straight sections like this, you got to open it up and just let her go. You have to, because you got to catch up to the next guy, because the batch of cars that are right in the front are long gone. So with 1 lap already gone, you only got 4 left. You don't have a lot of time, and the less time you have and the more space you got to make up on the track between you and the cars in the front, the more erratic you start to drive, and you start to pay less and less attention to the track itself, and you just worry about going fast and getting past the next car in front of you. And that is the worst thing you can do. I know, because I've done it lots, and I continue to do it, even though I tell myself, respect the track, slow down for the corners, get around the corner, wait till you're straight, and then throttle up. However, the OpenFed doesn't always listen to himself, which, okay, as you can see right here around these corners, almost lost control of it. Whoa, and almost lost control of it again. You gotta really pay attention, so you can't drive erratic. Driving erratic won't win you the race. All we can do is drive clean, catch up to the next guy, and hope that when you catch up to them, there's an opportunity to pass. Not like this here, where you have to sit behind them. I can go faster than them, but I can't pass them on the outside because I'll spin out or I'll drive off the track around the corner. I can't cut them on the inside because there's no room, so I have to wait until I get to this section here. And when you get to this section here, you can rip by them, but where are the cars in the front? We've already gone 2 laps, and it won't be long before we're halfway through the race already. And we do have quite a few more cars to pass, but like I'm so fond of saying, you cannot pass them until you catch them. So first we got to catch them. Drive clean though, use the track to your advantage. And like right here, unfortunately you can't rip around the outside of him until you get about right up here. Then you can, but by then he moves over, you can't get by him. So again, you have to wait. And you might say, okay, well he moved right after that, and that's true, but it's precious seconds. And precious seconds could make the difference between first, second, or third. So now it's still just a game, and we're playing it for the fun, and it is a lot of fun because this car is awesome to drive. It's got a lot of power, and it reminds me of the Mustangs back in my day. I never owned a Mustang. I've driven in them. Never drove one myself, but I've driven in enough of them that I know what they're like, and they're just beautiful. However, going around the corners, they're a little bit tougher because they're not quite made for handling these tight corners. So with that in mind, you got to remember, respect the track, because the car is not made for that kind of stuff. When you get around the corner here to the straight section, that's when you're going to let her rip again. Now, even though this track is not one of my favorites, the graphics I think are gorgeous. The sky, the night sky looks fantastic. The gameplay, like normal, is second to none. It's beautiful. And I really enjoy it. You know, with all the balloons, the air balloons in the sky there, it makes for a great spectacle. I think it looks awesome. So I really enjoy driving these kinds of races, and even though you might not win or come in first, well, that's okay, because the enjoyment is in the race. It's in the journey, not the final destination. So as we're coming up the hill here, we just finished our third lap, I would believe it was, and we still got a few cars left in front of us. Now, here again, as you can see, we're going through these little corners, these back and forth corners, and these two guys are holding me up, because I can go faster, but I cannot go fast enough to get around. Well, okay, made a liar out of myself. Sometimes I push it a little bit and hope that I don't spin out. Well, the Mustang's still right beside the other one. So, you know, oh, sorry, it was not a Mustang, it was a Corvette, the blue Corvette. But we finally got away from him, and we got away from this green Lamborghini, I believe it was. So now we can let it rip and hopefully catch up to the guys that are at the front of the pack. There they are. I think those are the lead cars. However, we're coming up to our last lap here. So this is the last straight section that you can really open it up and let her go. So you got to do that, catch up to the next guy, and if we're going to catch up to him, then he might not be car number one, because we caught up to him a little too easy. We're going to stick with him and get by him and see if there's another vehicle in front of that. But first we got to get by this guy. We're going to try him on the outside and hope that we don't spin out going around this corner. You can keep a tight hold of the steering wheel and don't over throttle it. It should be okay. Okay, as we're coming up here, there's not another car in front of us or in sight, but I do not believe we are number one. I don't believe it. We took too long. We took 4 laps to get past this last guy, and we're gonna run out of track, I believe. We can see a car way down there. Ooh, he's a little bit too far ahead of us. We're gonna get close, but I don't think we can get him before we get to the checkered flag, which means that we're gonna be second at best, maybe even third if there's 2 cars in front of us. But hey, that's okay, because it was enjoyable and it was a beautiful race. I really enjoyed it. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up and tell us what you liked about the race. Maybe you like this kind of car. Maybe you have a different kind of car that you'd like to see in these VR races. We'll try and get them on. You have a great rest of your day. You've been racing with the OpaFed.